want to lead off with a story about Bob, a simple man who has built his life around a possession of which he's very proud, a rare vintage Mustang. One afternoon, Bob takes his treasured Mustang out for a drive, and he parks where he often parks, on an abandoned railway siding. After getting out and taking a stroll, he looks up, and he notices a train coming down the tracks. A real surprise, because there aren't supposed to be any trains coming down these tracks. When he looks more closely, in fact, he notices that it's a runaway train, that there's no one at all in this train. And then, when he looks even more closely, he sees to his horror that a child is playing in a tunnel toward which the train is coming. And in fact, the child is so far away that there's no chance of warning her in advance of the train arriving. Well, he looks around frantically, and like a gift from heaven, he sees in front of him a railway switch. It's quite near him. So he can pull the switch, divert the train into the abandoned siding, and save the child's life. But not without cost, because remember, his treasured Mustang is on that abandoned railway siding, and if he diverts the train onto the siding, he loses that Mustang. So here's the question then. Should Bob throw the switch, divert the train, save the child? Or should he let the train continue on its course, almost certainly condemning the child to death, but saving that possession around which he built his life? The right and moral thing to do is to throw the switch, divert the train, save the child. There's no moral ambiguity at all here. And make no mistake, the story speaks directly to poverty, as poverty causes not just suffering, but much loss of life, much shortening of life.
In the ancient world, according to the Gospels, Jesus told his followers that, quote, "You have the poor always with you." That statement was not based on pessimism so much as on a realistic sense of the limited potential of the economy of the Roman Empire. In a near subsistence economy, the average standard of living for individuals was roughly 1/10 of what Americans on average enjoy today. The only way the philosopher Seneca, writing in the 1st century AD, could imagine a society of equality was to assume that every Roman would be poor. Today, the fact that poverty is still with us in a society that's 10 times as rich can only be described as a tragedy. But rather than just lamenting the tragedy, we need to understand why it is so that we can do something about it. Professor Grusky's new center, supported by the Elfenworks Foundation, as well as the university, the Hewlett Foundation, and other donors, aims to bring the highest quality social science to bear in order to achieve an understanding of causes and consequences. The new website, inequality.com, together with a new magazine, aims to disseminate that knowledge and to raise awareness of the tragedy. And so, in 2006, Stanford University launched a new program of research, training, and policy analysis on poverty and inequality.
Every day, as a society and as individuals, we're faced with precisely the same decision, whether to throw that metaphorical switch, invest in reducing poverty, and thereby avert much death and suffering, or instead to spend the same money on a nice shirt, on a car, or another home. This is the simple moral logic that is behind the commonplace assumption that the main antidote to poverty is convincing more people to act on their conscience, to forgo the car for the child. What I'm here to say, however, is that we don't need the moral argument to conclude that poverty and inequality are profoundly problematic. So here's my argument. Even for those who are morally challenged, even for those who would prefer a Mustang over a child, it's still very much in their interest to support a major reduction in poverty and inequality.